Welcome to another edition of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. I'm the voice of the Patriots, Richard Todd, here with Athletic Director and Head Varsity Football Coach Steve LaPrade. Senior night for the class of 2022. We honor a gold medalist from Fort Dorchester, Jasmine Camacho Quinn, and we win another region championship. It was a big night here at Bagwell Stadium.
It was. You know, it's a lot of successful stuff going on, and that's fantastic. You know, I think it's great. Jasmine, I don't really know how many gold medals. I think Chris Middleton, the basketball player at Portugal, I believe he was on the gold medal team in basketball. But I think as far as an individual gold medal, I'm not positive there's ever been another one in South Carolina. I don't know. I guess maybe there has, but I know it's definitely the first one here at Fort Dorchester. So that's just another thing athletically, that an accomplishment then we can brag on, that, you know, she's went on in her college career and then past college and done some great things. So we're going to brag on her a little bit. We're very, very proud of her. You know, she's the best in the whole entire world at something. That's pretty special.
Only the second person to ever win a medal for Puerto Rico, has the fourth fastest time in history in the hurdles, and took the gold medal in the hurdles for Puerto Rico at the 2020, happened this year in Tokyo 2021 Olympics. So great to have Jasmine Camacho Quinn here. Great to honor all of the seniors in the class of 2022, and great to win the region championship again. We're going to get to the highlights for a very interesting game as the West Ashley Wildcats came to take on your Fort Dorchester Patriots, and we'll do it coming up next.
Okay, the offensive player of the game against West Ashley was Michael Small. Michael had 126 yards rushing. He had one catch for about 20 yards at a very, very pivotal point in the game. Michael played his butt off. He's on a bunch of special teams. Boy, he's really come into his own. He's a heck of a player. So Michael Smalls, you're our offensive player of the game against West Ashley.
The race is long, and you're still running. You have goals to reach, dreams to chase, and games to play. If arthritis, torn tendons, twists, or strains threaten to stand in your way, don't delay. Trust the orthopedic experts at Roper St. Francis Healthcare. We offer same-day appointments, online scheduling, and more than a dozen close-to-home locations. Visit rsfh.com/ortho now.
And welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. Senior night honoring the class of 2022, and the West Ashley Wildcats coming to take on your Patriots at Bagwell Stadium with first place in the region on the line. And so let's go right to the game, because right off the bat, I know the Patriots like to start quick, but Zoltan's pass was tipped, West Ashley intercepts it, and then a four-play drive from basically the 5-yard line, and they get in the end zone first.
Yeah, it was obviously not the way we wanted to start. You know, it's just a tip ball, and when you tip the ball, anything happens, and unfortunately it went right toward their guy. And, you know, honestly, if we'd have got the pass off, and of course, you know, if we got the pass off, it was wide open for a touchdown. But we didn't, got tipped. That was good defense on their part. They picked it, and I think ran it down to about 4 or 5 yard line. So, and we held them there pretty good, to be honest with you. You know, took them 4
plays to get in from the 5.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought, you know, that was just the start of a great defensive night. You know, I mean, really, you know, as we go on, our defense really only gave up one score. I hate to put that one on the defense. I think that one's on the offense.
Yeah, both teams had a really good defensive night. And also, the point after was blocked by number 90, Demetrius Watson.
Yep.
And in a game where points were at a premium, that was big when it was 6-0.
Well, it was good. You know, Coach Hamilton really works on that. We work on blocking extra point, because it happens. You know, a lot of times you get scored on, you have that let down, you don't think it's important, and you just kind of walk through it, let them kick it, and it's 7-0. So we do really work on that. You know, hey, you know, get over it. Let's get in there. That's a big point. That could make a difference in ball games. So that was a great thing. I'm glad they did a good job on that.
There's some themes that'll be popping up throughout the game. That was defensive pressure by West Ashley on Zoltan, which of course the tip causing that touchdown. The wheel route to Michael Smalls, missed it right there in the first quarter, but that would come back as well. And then as the Patriots moving down the field, a fumble for Michael Smalls there on the 20-yard line that stopped that drive right in its tracks, and it turned right around with the 79-yard touchdown for West Ashley, and they go up 12-0 after failing on the two-point conversion.
Yeah, the Porter kids are really
Jaleel
good.
Porter had a great
He's
night.
really a good running back. He's probably the best running back in the state. So we knew. Honestly, I thought we did a fantastic job corralling him up. He got loose that one time. We just missed a tackle out there on the edge. We should have made the tackle. We didn't. But good backs are going to make you miss, and he did. And, busted down sideline. So obviously that's not what we wanted. We really wanted the opposite. They have some guys playing Ironman football that try to play on both sides of the ball a fair amount of time. So that was our plan going in, was just to run them in the ground and tire them out, which obviously that meant we had to stay ahead of them. When they get ahead of you, that's the kind of game that they want, because they eat the clock up, 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of offense, So we obviously were in a very dangerous situation. That's not how we wanted to start the game, and we really, got behind the 8 ball. But good Lord, our defense, they didn't score another point the rest of the game.
That's right.
Our defense went to work.
The first 2 possessions for the Patriots ended up in 2 turnovers that resulted in 2 touchdowns for West Ashley.
Right.
In both cases, the conversions were no good, so it made it 12-0. And that's important to remember going down the road. And then the wheel route hits with Michael Smalls on a 24-yard pass. It was sort of a weird drive, a pass interference call by West Ashley. And then you had a play with Devin Geddes up the middle that got stopped on first down. And then you had 25-yard in penalties from West Ashley that set up Zoltan Osborne for a 9-yard touchdown pass to Marion Boots Mitchell to make it 12-7.
Yeah, that was probably the best drive, that we had. It was good to see us get on the scoreboard. We really had trouble moving. I felt like we had a very wide open, explosive offense, and we were not tonight. Zoltan didn't have a very good night at all. He missed a lot of passes. We missed a lot of blocks up front. He was under pressure all night long, and didn't handle it real good either. So, we just couldn't put any points on the scoreboard. It was very, very frustrating. But take your hats off to West Ashley. They haven't given many points up in the last probably month. Early in the year they were hurt. They had some COVID stuff and couldn't practice and dropped a couple ball games. But they've kind of hit their stride in doing what they do. They don't have a large squad, so they run the football, control the clock, play good defense, a lot of pressure. So they make you throw the ball, and you got to be able to block them and throw the ball. And we had trouble in both of those areas. We had trouble blocking them, and we had trouble throwing the ball.
Yeah, West Ashley undefeated in the region coming into this game, and the defense did a good job for the Wildcats, and 2 turnovers by the Patriots didn't help matters, but it was 12-7 West Ashley after the end of the first quarter on senior night, and we'll get to second quarter highlights as the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show continues next.
All right, Coach of the Week against West Ashley is Freddie Hamilton. Freddie Hamilton's coached on every level you can imagine except for the pro level. He's from a family of coaches. His dad is probably one of the best football coaches I've ever been around. I was lucky enough to work with him when I was at Somerville. Rusty Hamilton. His brother is a college coach currently. Freddie's coached in college. He's been a head coach at various schools in high school, and he's here. He's a great defensive line coach. I think he's put 7 or 8 Division I defensive linemen out of this school since he's been here. He's great to have on staff. He's a great person. He's a great mentor. Freddie does a fantastic job. Probably knows more football than anybody on our staff. So Freddie Hamilton, I'm proud to announce you as our Coach of the Week against West Ashley.
The race is long, and you're still running. You have goals to reach, dreams to chase, and games to play. If arthritis, torn tendons, twists, or strains threaten to stand in your way, don't delay. Trust the orthopedic experts at Roper St. Francis Healthcare. We offer same-day appointments, online scheduling, and more than a dozen close-to-home locations. Visit rsfh.com/ortho now.
And welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. The Patriots trailing 12-7 against the West Ashley Wildcats on senior night at Bagwell Stadium. A couple of costly turnovers in the first quarter, and as we get to the second quarter, you know, West Ashley's defense really put a lot of pressure on our offensive line and on Zoltan throughout the first half, the whole game, but especially in the first half.
I thought so. Yeah, they did. They
blitzed a lot.
They did, and we knew they were going to do that. You know, and we kind of thought we had a really good plan, but we just couldn't execute it. I know Coach Steele worked on the offensive line, and then we were going to get some help with the running backs and max protect with a tight end, and we just had to, our tight end faltered many times, our back faltered blocking, our line. We had a hard time blocking. Yeah, it wasn't a good night offensively for us. You know, all the things that we planned on doing, we couldn't do because, we just couldn't execute it.
And kudos to West Ashley. They seemed very well prepared in what we were going to be doing. And also kudos to Chase Kennedy in the second quarter. Both teams are trading punts after a bad first series for the Patriots to start the quarter. A 54-yard punt and a 58-yard punt in both cases flipped the field for the Patriots.
Yeah, he was by far our best offense. Chase Kennedy was our offense. Really, the whole first half, except for the one drive, it was all about Chase Kennedy. He flipped the field every single time he punted it. I think he averaged well over 50 yards tonight, I would think. Then he had that field goal. I think that's about 35, 40-yard field goal.
37-yard field goal to make it 12-10.
Yeah. So he had a really, really, really good night.
And in a game like this, when every possession matters, you almost had a deep pass that just went right off your fingertips there in the second quarter. And you also had a missed pass to Davion Joyner that was right there for the taking. And I know those are close calls. And in a game that was 12-10 moving towards halftime, those are critical plays.
They were, but I think their pressure, Zoltan was off his game. He's throwing off his back foot. And he just didn't have a good night. It was evident. Those throws, we've been making those throws. They're just common for him to make those throws. We're doing it all year long, So, those, like you said, that's 3 or 4 touchdowns that we usually have that we didn't get tonight, and that's the difference in the ball game. I mean, those are the throws. They got so many people in the box. You've got to make those throws and make those catches, and we didn't do it. He didn't put the ball on the money, and we didn't make the catches.
In a defensive struggle, it's only a handful of plays that can make the difference. But on the other side, as you talked about in the first quarter, Fort Dorchester's defense really was stout the whole night.
It is amazing. I don't know how many sacks we had. It was amazing how good they played. I mean, I was really, really worried about the running game coming in, and we handled it very, very well. We really did. We really did a good job. I take my hat off to the defensive coaching staff. They did a fantastic job. I mean, I told the kids after the game, this is a team victory. I said, we've had some nights that defensively we didn't play that good, and offense kind of picked them up. Well, that was not the case tonight. Offensively, we did not play very good at all, and defense picked it up and won the ball game. But that's why you have a team. That's a good thing. Specialties was huge. We made a mistake. We thought we could block a punt, and we run into the kicker. That cost us once too. So we just, you got to execute in big games, and at times we did. In areas we executed very well, and in some areas we didn't execute very well. So those are things you got to keep working. The good thing about this group, they will not quit. They will not quit.
A great second quarter, though, for Chase Kennedy, and a great first half for the defense after those first early turnovers in the first quarter. 12-10, West Ashley leads Fort Dorchester at halftime. We'll get to second half action with the third quarter coming up on the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show next.
Okay, the defensive player of the week, I'm going to share this with two guys. They had unbelievable games. Our defense played lights out the whole entire game. I can't thank our defensive coach staff. What a job they did. But DJ Watson, number 90, and Devin Geddes, number 93. Their two guys just got selected to the North-South All-Star game. Unbelievable what they did tonight between the sacks and the run stops and fumble recoveries and forced fumbles. What a night those two guys had. So you guys, both of you guys, DJ and Devin, you're my defensive player of the week against West Ashley.
Race is long, and you're still running. You have goals to reach, dreams to chase, and games to play. If arthritis, torn tendons, twists, or strains threaten to stand in your way, don't delay. Trust the orthopedic experts at Roper St. Francis Healthcare. We offer same-day appointments, online scheduling, and more than a dozen close-to-home locations. Visit rsfh.com/ortho now.
Welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. The Patriots trailing at home 12-10 against the West Ashley Wildcats on senior night as we move to second half action. And Coach, the second half really, and in fact the game as a whole, it was a battle in the trenches. Both lines were really affecting the game, so the specialty players couldn't have as much of an impact. And the third quarter, there was a lot of 3 and outs and punts back and forth, and a 44-yard field goal missed opportunity. But you were trying to get a timeout there, just like you were also trying to get the timeout at the end of the first half, but you had to burn a timeout when the player went out of bounds. I mean, some really bad missed calls by the referees. You were trying to get that timeout, though, before that 44-yard field goal attempt.
Yeah, you know, in a field goal attempt, you know, usually you got your line judges on the sideline. Well, they took off running, and I'm out there, and I'm looking, there's nobody within like 30 or 40 yards. I'm screaming and hollering, and of course, you know, I got to about the numbers, and I'm hollering time, and of course, you know, the almighty answer, we didn't hear you. And I said, well, it's obvious you didn't hear me. You know, I said, but I don't know what to do. I'm running out here on the field. I don't know what else to do.
I know you're frustrated not getting that timeout before that kick, and I mean frustrated having to burn the timeout at the end of the first half.
I just didn't understand. That guy's a really good official. I just, the answer, you know, I said, he got knocked out of bounds.
Missed calls.
And he says, well, yeah, but he got hit in bounds. I go, well, yeah. True.
But he got knocked out of bounds, which should have stopped the clock.
You know, so, but I mean, that guy's a good official, and I have no problem with officials. It just, I don't know, that one kind of flew me for, you know, I don't know. I didn't understand. I'm like, I don't understand that call.
But neither team would score in the third quarter, but there was a moment there where you went under the tent and we're talking to Zoltan. Were you drilling? Were you coaching? I mean, what were you doing with Zoltan at that moment when the offense was struggling there in the third quarter?
You know, your execution and all that's very important, but also your development, I guess, of any player on your team. And obviously Zoltan Osborne's a very huge part of our team. And, you know, I just went and I put my arm around. I said, listen, man, this is big boy football. I said, you're going to get hit in the mouth. I said, you're going to have to stand in there, take the hit, and you got to complete these passes. You know, because he got rocked a couple times. You know, their linebacker now, 40, he's a stud now. You know, he's might be one of the best defensive players in the state.
That's Ori, right?
I don't know what his name is, but I know what his number is. Number 40. He's a horse. You know, he's a Shrine Bowl guy. So we knew we were going to have a hard time blocking him, and he they sent him all night long. So you know, Zoltan, I was just, you know, trying to get him to grow up. You know, that's part of it. So I was just trying to get him to settle down. And I said, listen, you're probably going to take one in the mouth to make this thing work.
And and that it shows how he picked himself up. A few times he slipped,
He did,
a few times
sure.
he got sacked, and he was under pressure throughout the night. Another thing I noticed also was we had a few difficulties in the fielding of punts, and you ended up making a switch from Trey Ryan to Demetrius McKelvey there in the third quarter.
Well, we made a switch to Davion Joyner.
That's right.
That's who we did, but it's, once again, these are teenagers. And people don't understand that. It's so frustrating sometimes. Have you seen Trey Ryan hardly drop a pass or a punt all year long?
No. And it happened a few times
He
tonight.
did. He dropped everything tonight. Everything in his hands he dropped. I remember he caught the 2-point conversion, and I can't remember him catching another ball.
I think he
all
talked
night.
maybe one on the sidelines, but yeah.
It's crazy, Welcome to high school sports.
Well, and then you get to what was the play of the game. Near the end of the third quarter, it's the defense, because it was number 93, Devin Geddes, forcing the fumble. Number 90, Demetrius Watson, recovering that fumble inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
That was a huge play of the night.
It was huge. And, just as they had so much pressure on Sultan, we had so much pressure on them all night long. I know everybody talks about Porter, what a great back he is, but hey, Michael Smalls had 126 yards tonight rushing the football. Michael Smalls has grown up. He's a big boy. He's a big boy running back, and he's our guy, and I think we probably could have got another one in there to end the game, but we're just trying to take a knee and get this thing over with.
Well, that defensive play would give the Patriots the ball in the red zone for the Wildcats to end the third quarter. No points in the third quarter. The Patriots trail going into the fourth quarter 12-10. We'll let you know what happens and take a look at what's coming up as the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show continues next.
The race is long, and you're still running. You have goals to reach, dreams to chase, and games to play. If arthritis, torn tendons, twists, or strains threaten to stand in your way, don't delay. Trust the orthopedic experts at Roper St. Francis Healthcare. We offer same-day appointments, online scheduling, and more than a dozen close-to-home locations. Visit rsfh.com/ortho now.
Welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. It was senior night, and Coach, it's great to get the senior class together after a victory and get together to celebrate what they've accomplished, and also just to have a good time and enjoy winning.
It was, we really don't enjoy winning over here as much as we should. I think it's really taken for granted. I think the parents, the kids, the students, the faculty, the administration, it's like, yeah, you're supposed to win. Well, yeah, but it's hard to stay on top. It's very, very difficult. Like I said, ask Alabama. It's tough. There's somebody after you all the time. So, excuse me. It was good. They kind of put this thing together, our booster club, and some of the ladies really, really worked hard. It was very, very nice. And I think the kids, our players enjoyed it. I think the parents enjoyed it. And I kind of told them, I said, man, we got to enjoy winning. We tried to enjoy winning a little bit more this year. Before we'd win, everybody packed their stuff up and hit the road. So we tried to enjoy every victory a whole lot more this year.
Coach, that play at the end of the third quarter with the forced fumble and the very first play of the fourth quarter, Zoltan Osborne, a 5-yard touchdown pass to number 13, Demetrius McKelvey for that touchdown, and that's the first lead of the game for Fort Dorchester there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to get a lead, but it was scary. So we decided to go for two.
Right.
And ended up working out for us.
Zoltan and Trey Ryan for that
Trey
team.
Ryan, he finally caught something, so that was good. It's a good time for Trey to come through. And that was good. That was probably the hardest one he had to catch all night. But it was good to see him pull that one in.
Trey actually had the most receptions for the Patriots, at 5 receptions for 50 yards, and Zoltan going 13 for 29 for 112, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And so got an 18-12 lead. It's still tenuous because you know how well they can run. The kickoff, it looked like the West Ashley player called a fair catch, and then another player called it and ran it back, and the refs missed that. And
dangest thing I've ever seen. The one guy calls fair catch, and then another guy catches it and takes off running. I'm like, wait a minute, he called a fair catch. And they said nobody saw it. So.
Well, and you had a short
So you saw it too?
Yeah.
So I wasn't the only one
Everybody
to see it?
saw that. Yeah,
Okay,
that was one of 3 blown calls tonight. So I'm just pointing that out so you don't have to. But there were several times tonight we had short fields. There were pooch kicks and there was squibbing the ball. And yet when we got those short fields, we often were moving backwards and not taking advantage of that field position.
Yeah, I thought the penalties, we did a pretty good job with the penalties till at the end of the game. Fourth quarter. And, we let our emotions show a little bit and had 2. I thought the one call was not, these are high school kids and I think they should get to celebrate without being ugly. You need to be able to get excited. It's not choir practice or something. You ought to be able to jump up and down. But they called it thinking it was taunting, and I knew that the one they called it on did not taunt anybody. But it is what it is. They're trying to keep control of the game. But we did get a 15-yard penalty, which hurt us a bunch. So that was 30 yards in penalties.
Yeah, 15-yarders there in the fourth quarter, but the D stood up, held them on 4th down, and turned the ball over to us on downs. And then it was Michael Smalls. We mentioned the fact that he had 21 carries for 126 yards, and really that helped move the ball down the field. And another one of those wheel routes to Michael Smalls. That
finally connected.
Yes, absolutely.
Finally connected. It was open. We finally got it. And, we got down there, and I think we were on about 10, 12-yard line. We just decided to take a knee. I felt like we could probably got it in, but wasn't the way the night had been. It wasn't worth the chance of fumbling or doing something stupid. So we just took a knee and got the victory.
18-12 was the final score, and the Patriots win the region for the 9th time in 10 years, or 10
It's
out
a
of
bunch
11.
of them. I don't know. Yeah, we lost one year, triple overtime, but it's been a while. I think it's been like, I don't know, 2013,
and that's
2012,
a heck of a testament to the
2013.
program and what you've been able to do here in that many region titles for Dorchester.
It is, it's, with having, we got 3 5A schools here just in Dorchester County, so that's, and then of course West Ashley and Stahl, they've been in there the last few years, and then years before that we had some super region, and it's a good thing, it's one of our goals. So we kind of had that first part of the season, which was out of the conference, and then we're working on the conference schedule. So far, the first 2 goals we have met. We got a big rival game obviously next week, but we won't have any bearing, I guess, as far as the region championship. But we'd like to go and take care of business.
Yeah, the Patriots winning the region title, and congratulations to the Patriots. But yes, now you go to McKissick Field to take on your arch rivals, a great rivalry in the Low Country, Somerville, Fort Dorchester. Whenever they play, they always say you can throw out the records, and the Patriots are on the road, and Somerville would like to do nothing more than to screw up a perfect season.
I guarantee you, it's not a doubt in my mind. I'm sure it'll be a great ball game. Ian Rafferty was over here with us, and I know when I used to go against Coach McKissick, you always want to beat the guy you worked for so long. So I'm sure he would love to win. And they got another assistant that was over here with us for a long time, so Ryan Sharpie. So I'm sure they'll have them ready. And like I said, it's the rivalry. It's the 2 big schools here in the region in the Dorchester County. So I'm sure it'll be a good one, like it always is.
It's always a great scene, and it's the coaching circle of life when you're facing your mentor McKissick, and now Rafferty is facing his mentor in LaPrade. That's sort of the way it goes.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of full circle.
As time marches on,
That's
and
right.
the Patriots march on as well with an 18-12 win over the West Ashley Wildcats on senior night. We want to get as many Patriots to come out for the game. It's happening October 29th at McKissick Field, the regular season finale against the Somerville Green Wave. and then it's the postseason. And we'll have more here on the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show as we move through the rest of the season and into the playoffs. And we thank you for watching.